Okay, we're live finally. This is going to be a good conversation because everything conspired against us to make it not happen. So we're a little bit late, but we're finally here. Thank you so much for joining us, whoever is able to hop in, and whoever watches the recording later. I am Jalan Gunduz. I'm here as the editor-in-chief with One Brilliant Arc, and we have the two Gabrielas, as we like to call them at the Tell It Anyway cohort that we met them in. But I'll let you guys introduce yourself, and we're going to be talking about the new book that they just published, Weaving Connections, Nature Walks Across Continents. So I'll let you two introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you met.
Do you want to start?
Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Dr. Gabriella Kőrösi, and I have met the other Gabriela through the Medium publishing platform, where she became a writer in my publication, Dancing Elephant Press, and then later she became an editor. And then we both participated in Substack and started magazines and different kind of things in Dancing Elephant Press in Substack. And she started her own, and one day we just decided to start Nature Walks last spring, and that's how everything started for the book.
Yeah, for me, I was just thinking about this today. So you can call me Gabby. I'm in Hungary, and I was thinking about this today, how it all started, because it started in the forest. It was me needing time for myself to refill, to charge. So I started going to run or to walk, and we somehow, we connected during these walks.
Yes.
And we started these lives. And yeah.
I just have to say, I think that it's so awesome because I feel like all good stories start in the magical forest. And so I feel like that's just even more proof that your story is incredible. So yeah, tell us about this book and how it was born.
So this is our amazing book.
It's so beautiful, and I know that you painted the cover as well. Is
Yes.
that's true, Gabriella?
Yes, and then Gabriela, Gabi did the design of it, and then we come up with that it's going to be a series, and actually a second book is going to come out this month that's specifically for women and about women and so many magical things. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just felt right. We kind of both jumped into it. We were having a conversation on Signal, and we were both outside. We were both in nature, and we were just like, "Do you want to try this Substack Live thing?" and what we wanted to see if other people might want to do what we were doing, because we both felt, I think, that nature just brought us some healing, and it felt good to be outside. It was a spring, and I think, yeah, we needed time for ourselves too, and we connected. So I think we felt, let's try to see if other people would be interested in doing the same thing. So it was like literally a spur of the moment. We were just both like, okay, let's try it. And then we did our first Substack Live and out in nature. And then we just joined every time we can. And we talked about nature, but we talked about all kinds of things about life and so many different things. I don't know how much we want to go into it, but
So what's in this book is basically just all of the conversations that you guys had while you were on these nature walks, just all of the different deep topics that you dug into, whatever came up.
yes, and more.
That's awesome. I find it so interesting because I feel like a lot of creatives these days are told, like, you have to grind, you have to hustle, you have to put in the work in order to create something that is meaningful. And it seems like you guys did the opposite. You kind of went back to slowing down and getting in touch with your natural rhythms, and that's what created the magic.
Yes, and we were not thinking that this is going to be a book in the beginning. We decided after that, well, we have all these hours of transcripts. Should we put it together and then we added to it too? But yeah, I think that makes it so light and so much fun because we were just truly just what in the moment every time when we were talking.
Yeah, it was a flow, and for me, it started with intuition. That's how it was in the forest for me. I just tried
Yeah.
to listen. I just tried to listen and to connect and to just be there. It might sound, uh, well, I mean, we were online, but
Mhm.
it was not about the technology itself. It was just about connecting across continents because there's no, we found a way. So,
Yes.
and we were observing things in nature and showing to each other and discussing extra things we found out or just sharing tips on various subjects. And I like to think that as we started in spring, it was brand new, it was growing, it was blooming, so, and the idea, it ripened up. I think it was August, end of August, when we said that maybe this should turn into a book.
Yeah, somewhere there, yeah, in the fall, yeah.
And then we
That's so
still,
neat.
we still ripened it a bit more, and yeah, it was a process, but it was not hurried. It was, it just came as a flow.
It was just very natural. There's something so natural about both being in nature and connecting with your natural rhythms that follow the seasons of nature. Um, I think it's very interesting that you kind of touched on the unique spirituality of creativity. Um, it seems to me that a lot of creatives have that experience of when they slow down and listen to their intuition, then they're allowed to flourish and bloom, and the stuff that they create becomes alive. And it just comes into that flow, like you said, a little bit more effortlessly. Do you think that this kind of intuition and natural flow of creativity is something that um, people are needing to be reminded of these days?
I believe so. I believe so, especially now that it's so easy just to type in something to AI and ChatGPT, and I think a lot of people are tempted and just putting out books and all kinds of things that not coming from the depth of their hearts. It's not coming from tuning into nature or finding some inner inspiration. It's just coming from a computer, and I think there's a loss of humanity in
Mhm.
that. And I think when you tune into listening to things around you and to listen to yourself, it's just have a more meaningful, more in-depth connection.
Mm, yeah. And that's so hard, especially for creatives, because I've found in my work with writers in particular that it comes very naturally to creatives to doubt themselves and feel like they can't trust what they hear when they take the time to listen to themselves. Um, is that something that you guys faced, or do you feel like the power of your connection and your teamwork kind of overcame that self-doubt that crept up?
I think we connected so much through voice
Yeah.
that it was authentic in this way,
Hmm.
and we just took it from there.
Yeah, it was just truly us, whatever came in a moment, whatever we observed, felt, wanted to talk about, whatever felt right to talk about. And after that, of course, we went through the whole thing and added other things and then added tips and recipes and whatever else felt right. Like after going back through all these 7 months worth of walks, then we went back and kind of added whatever we felt later about it, while editing. And then I just have to say, because Gabi come up with this brilliant idea that I love in this book that I have not seen anywhere else, and I have to show you guys. So instead of saying, when in a book says Gabriela said this or Gabi said this or whatever, we don't do that. She created little bubble heads for us. So whenever there's a conversation, you either see my little bubble head or her little bubble head cartoonized, and
I
that's
love
how the
it.
conversation flows. And that's how it would be kind of like online. So if you can see,
Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
so that's us, little bubble heads. And I just love it. It's so easy to read that way as
Yeah.
well.
I
Yeah.
love the vibes of this. It seems so pure. It seems so gentle. Um, it reminds me of like it really does feel like stepping into that experience of walking through the woods, walking through nature with my mentors, whether, my aunt, my mother, my grandmother, my best friend, someone that I look up to, and just being mentored through all of the things of life. And I feel like that natural vibe is going to go so well with your next book, which is specifically for women. Um, I just love that you're stepping into someone else's story and allowing them to step into yours and just walking together through it. That moment of connection, like you said, across continents even, is so alive and so powerful. Um, have you experienced any other kinds of powerful moments of connection that reached across continents like that in any other creative endeavors you've done?
Well, we have done collaborations in books. So, like, we wrote a book about poverty that has multiple authors around the globe, and we wrote a book about writing and AI, which is authors around the globe. But it's very It was very different because it was not connecting in the moment and doing that. People would write their section and send it in, and then we put it together. So I think this is like almost a higher level, the next level after that, because I have done that with Gabi before and with many authors before. But this is different because we are doing it together, and with the woman's book too. Although we didn't walk, but we done groups together with other women. We talked about it. We are reading each other work and adding comments continuously to it. So it's like almost like a living, breathing thing. Is like I'm reading what you did and I'm telling you what I did and you're responding to it. And it's just like an ever evolving um yeah, it's just like a basket, just like when you're weaving a basket, you're just adding one more layer to it, one more layer to it. And although we haven't, for the women's book, it's going to be 4 different women and different perspective and different backgrounds and different continents and all those things again. But it somehow is coming together so beautifully because of the way we are doing it. And I think it is reaching a different level of connection than the books we have done before. Although I love those too, but it's just I don't know. It's like another level. I'm not sure how to put it into words, really.
It's the connection. You can feel
Yeah.
it. And this is what I'm experiencing. We are feeling this connection, weaving as if we are talking often, unlike in
Yeah.
any other during any other project.
Yes.
So, and on top of everything, we're going to meet next week in
Yes.
person. So
That is so exciting! I've seen you two working together for so many months now, and knowing that you finally have a chance to meet in person, that is so exciting. I'm so happy for you guys. Do you
Thank you.
have any
We're very
plans
excited.
for do you have any
yeah,
plans for like what you're going to create while you're together in person?
Yes, we have some secret plans.
yeah, many
Secret.
ideas.
Oh, that's so exciting. I want to dig more into the power of collaboration versus competition because this is another thing where I feel like you two are really overcoming the toxic trends that are kind of taking over the creative world nowadays and setting that example of how we can do better. Um, because with how crowded the market is recently with AI and how fast it can create content, I feel like a lot of creatives are falling into that fear of becoming irrelevant and there being just too much noise for their own work to be able to get out there so that they can um, make a living. And I wonder what your thoughts are about that, having experienced this power of creating through connection instead of, feeling like you just have to be louder than the other in order to get noticed on platforms like Medium and Substack. I know that's kind of a loaded question.
I think, yeah, there's a lot into that, but I'm just thinking sometimes if you quiet your voice, you might be heard better than if you're screaming louder. If you're quiet and gentle and kind and genuine and authentic, I believe the people who meant to hear you will hear you. It's not easy. It's not easy to do the marketing. It's not easy to try to get out there. But hopefully, like anybody who reads this book, I'm hoping that they will be touched and they feel the energy, the love, the genuine connection in it to a point that they want to recommend that to somebody else, to use it or want to promote it or want to support us doing this work. And I truly believe that competition doesn't take you anywhere. There's, billions of people in in this globe. Hopefully there's enough for everybody. So
And also,
it's better to collaborate, I think.
Yeah, and also at Dancing Elephants Press, we spread positivity, so it's a core value.
Yeah.
And this is on top of everything. It
Yeah.
starts from that, and then we collaborate and we connect. And now we're just doing it from our heart. We don't need to compete, or we will find our tribe. It will take as long as it takes, but yeah.
I agree with you that the true power in stories comes from the genuineness, because that's when you allow someone to feel seen and then your story resonates with them. And it kind of reminds me, again, of just how much the power of story is in sharing your story. What's your experience been like sharing your story in this way? Have you felt like it was a more natural way to connect with other people's stories?
For me, these lives that we started, the nature walks, were about getting to know my voice. My voice, as in talking, speaking out, because I was not really used to doing lives or to being out there. But somehow on Substack and with Gabriela, it felt different. So yeah.
I think we created a comfortable environment when it didn't feel, it didn't feel threatening that all of a sudden we are opening this out to the world, our voices to be heard. And and we just wanted to do something fun and positive, and we just did it. We didn't put a lot of planning or a lot of thought into it. We got together when we could, and Gabi's really busy too with 3 kids, and I was working, plus then I had an injury and surgery and all kinds of things. But we just made it work when we can. When we were both available, we were messaging each other, you want to do it now? Do we have time now? So whenever we had time, we didn't do like super extensive. We made it flexible and fun and joyful, so we didn't make it like this structured. We were thinking outside the box, which is one of the things I like to do. We just wanted to do this and we did it. And I hope that when people read this book, or listen to it, or, however you want to do it, that people will feel that genuine connection that we had with each other, that we had with nature, and we had with the topics that we discussed. And sometimes we did a little bit of planning. Well, should we talk about this or that? But many times we just let's talk about whatever comes up, because that's just more natural. So I think we might have planned 1 or 2 topics. I think the one we did about recycle, reuse, we planned that, and there might have been 1 other topic that we planned, but the rest of the time we just let's talk about whatever comes up, and then also see that the people who join us, what they want to talk about. And we just went from kind of there. We always
That's
come up with
so
something to talk about.
So special and so unlike anything else that is out there today. And I really love how you leaned into that authenticity of what you had to say, and what just came out. How important do you think the setting of nature was to these topics coming out naturally?
Very important because it was
Yes.
providing us with inspiration. And actually, I think we felt more at ease in nature, more
Yes.
without the everyday worries, and we were not in a hurry either. So that's how we were so flexible that we found both of us, we found the time that would allow us to just take our time.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you feel like it maybe helped that you were able to step out of the kind of toxic trends that we've trained our brains to be in anxiety mode about in the way people do creativity nowadays?
Absolutely. I think it helped a great deal. And it helped, I think, for us to find our new voice, which I believe that both of our voices got more powerful through this experience. And then also taught us again and again to stepping into nature, how healing it is, how powerful it is. And we just, because of the time difference, it gets dark in Hungary. Like, like right now, we talk, but we didn't have a chance to do nature walks together because it's either dark here or dark there. Plus, I also had an ankle surgery. I'm just relearning how to walk. But we just talked about how much we miss it, So I'm so excited that next week we're actually going to walk in a forest together in the middle of the winter because we're going to be in the same time zone. That actually we can walk together, because I kind of get used to like just messaging, hey, do you want to do this nature walk? And, but with the time difference, it's been difficult. But I think it deepened the connection with each other, within ourselves, and with nature, and just kind of like with everything around you. Because when you walk around with no agenda in the forest or at a river, at a beach, there's your own country and your other countries in different areas, which there's multiple countries in this book because Gabby was traveling. So, it's just, I don't even know if I have words for it. It's just keep coming back to the connection. My cat decided to join us.
We love it when cats join us. Thank you everyone who have also joined this live session. Speaking of time zones, I know how difficult it is to kind of join in a live conversation that's happening depending on the time zone you're in. I know I'm in Eastern time, and then Gabriela is in Pacific time. And Gabby, what time zone are you in Hungary?
GMT +1.
Okay.
I think Central European.
Central
Okay.
European time, yeah.
So yeah, I know if anyone in the chat wants to tell us what time zone you're joining from, that would be so cool to see what kind of connections we're making here. But yeah, it's just being in the same time zone, you feel so much closer, but connecting outside of time zones, it feels so much more magical because you can feel the power of the connection transcending those time zones. Um, I know even having this live session here, I got confused with the time zones and did math wrong. So
That's all right. We made it work.
we still connected. It was still great. This is still an awesome conversation. Um, Tell us more about Dancing Elephant Press, the publishing company that you've started, Gabriella. I'd love to hear more about the work that you do there.
Well, it first started with a book I wrote about addictions, and then somebody invited me to the Medium platform to try it out. And it was kind of recommended at that time when I finished that book in 2019, is that, start a blog, build a website to kind of get your name out there. And it definitely gets your name out there, because right now I just checked the other day because somebody mentioned that, and I checked, there's 12 pages on Google about me, so like if you Google me, but like after the first 2 or 3 pages, it's all Substack and Medium, all the things you write in Substack and Medium. So I started to write just some blogs on my website and on Medium, and I saw that there were other publications. So after a while, I felt like I want to create something different that really focuses on positivity and doesn't restrict people, and kind of want to, like do the sparkle. We had a great session yesterday. We talked about sparkles to kind of spread that little sparkle, that little light to the world, and just kind of try to be creative. So I love elephants, and my daughter drew me an elephant that was dancing, and I was sitting here in front of the computer and trying to think of a publication name on Medium, and I looked at my dancing elephant that's still up there, and I'm like, it has to be fun, it has to be joyful, it has to be positive. So it become the Dancing Elephant Press. So every time somebody looks at the little drawing, that's something, that my daughter made, and it's, yeah, I love the name, and then I started the publication, and then later, actually, I registered the publication as I started publishing books under Dancing Elephant Press. And one of the reasons why I learned and started to publish books and help other people publish books, because like with my addiction book, I sent it in for a year to different publishing companies and just was not able to get it published, even though I think it's an amazing book, amazing stories. There's like 50 stories from all kinds of people in there talking about addiction. But now the publishing companies, many of them, they don't even take unsolicited manuscripts. So it's not that easy to get into the publishing world. And more people just do self-publishing, but some people just don't want to do it, don't want to do the work, or can't, or don't understand it, or they just want to create and want somebody else to publish it. So that's how I started to publish works for myself, and then started to publish the works in our collaborations. And the first work in that was when we created a book called Holistic Journey Toward Wellness. And that was 21 people from all over the world in Dancing Elephant Press and Medium, that we just come up with topics, and they, there was a whole process. It was a lot of work. And the book is like this thick.
Oh, wow.
It's a massive book, and it's magical, and that's how it started. And then since then, there have been just different collaborations, and then people started to reach out. They said, I can't do the publishing. Can you help me with that? And then by that time, I published so many that I would say yes. I don't say yes to everybody. I say yes when I feel called to what they are doing, or also time limits and things like that. But yeah, that's how it all started. And then we just, Substacks kind of become a thing. More and more people started to talk about it. So then we moved to Substack as well, to be not put all of our eggs in one basket, because you do hear scary things about people use different writing platforms before, and one died, and then all their work was gone, and all those type of things. So we are publishing on Medium and Substack, and Gabi is an editor in both. So she helps with Dancing Elephant Press, and then we create our books and do collaborations any way we can.
That's so beautiful. It sounds like Dancing Elephants Press was created on the power of collaboration. That's your core that everything is built on. And then this collaboration that you and Gabby have to write this book, Weaving Connections, Nature Walks Across Continents, was just something extra special. I can see in your story reflected the truth that I think a lot of people come to Substack about, is we're kind of learning from this conversation that the traditional way that we've been taught we have to be creative is not very helpful for actual creatives. I think that authenticity is just really drawing people to more what you guys are doing, like defying the norms of you have to be hustling and sitting at a desk every day. And you're saying, no, let's slow down and reconnect with nature, reconnect with ourselves, and let the genuine magic just create itself. I think that's so beautiful and so powerful. Um, what would you actually first, I'll ask you, Gabby, because I feel like we didn't get to hear as much about your story, your background with creativity. What beyond just editing for Dancing Elephants Press, when did you start your creative journey and doing creative work?
I was writing as a child, so I first got my first journal from my mom, who I think she was so busy that she couldn't really connect. So she said that I should just write whatever comes to my mind, just write. And I, like a good girl, I just started writing, and I didn't stop. Okay, I stopped. I switched to blogging um, during university. Okay, of course there was some break and stuff, but I switched to blogging about my travels, and then kind of faded. Became a mother and forgot about myself like that. And then somehow I rediscovered this. Well, it was a bit buried in myself, the desire to create, and was I still good enough to express myself and to. Okay, there were also various blogs about creatives. The writer doesn't earn money or whatever. These older beliefs that for me they got really ingrained.
Mhm.
So somehow with some therapy and inner work, I came back to myself. So I started publishing on Medium, and I was when my first piece was accepted in a publication, I was amazed that yes, I can still do it. So, but as a background, I am an economist, and I was working in corporate before having kids. Now I would like to build a legacy of sorts. So
Mm.
I'm trying to find my voice in writing, but not only writing. So it's complex. And now with the woman book, the book about women and sisterhoods, you will see. It's adding up to this journey of mine.
Mm. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. I want to thank both of you for going through that journey and now sharing that journey and sharing your story and how you found healing to put that goodness back out into the world and kind of encourage other people that they don't have to be stuck in these cycles that are unhelpful to who they truly are on the inside. And I just really appreciate you two ladies working so hard to create that sparkle in the world. Kind of similar to what we say at One Brilliant Arc. The whole reason we do what we do in supporting storytellers and trying to amplify their voices is we believe that with all of the darkness in the world, everyone's story is one little spark of light. And the more sparks of light you can have in the world, the less darkness you'll have. And I think that's where the power of connection comes because now you have all of these individual stories, all of these little sparkles, and now they all come together and you have a great big light. And I think that's so beautiful that you guys are really paving the way in that. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thanks for talking about this. Um, to wrap up, I'd love to know what would you tell creatives who want to create and put goodness out into the world, but they kind of feel powerless and overwhelmed into paralysis? What's one thing that you would tell a creative who's feeling that listening today?
You're good enough. Your story is important. And you're beautiful and amazing just the way you are. And share whatever calls to you to share. People who meant to find you, they will find you. And I think some people get discouraged if they don't get an immediate response or nobody responds to their story, but that might not happen right away. And you might just find that one person, like how Gabi and I found each other, and how there's other writers who we found each other's with that, like we are creating the woman's book with, or we created previous books with. You'll find each other. You'll find your people, and your voice matters. Everybody's voice matters.
Yeah, I would tell that if they speak from the heart, they will find somebody to connect with, especially on Substack. And then you take it from there. And it's really the power of connection, because if you emulate people who do it one way, you will not do it differently. So just be yourself and trust that you will somehow succeed, because it's not really about succeeding. I mean, there are different levels here as well.
Yeah.
It
There's
depends
different
on
definitions. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. I think it's all about not letting that spark die. If you have that spark of goodness and that little sparkle, you have to keep it shining until it can find someone else. And sometimes it's just keeping your spark shining in the dark until someone else finds you.
Yeah.
But the second you give up and let that spark die, then now you're lost in the darkness.
And I just want to add, it's okay just to do it for you too.
Mhm.
Like if you feel like writing or you feel like creating anything, you don't have to share it with the world. You can just do it just for you. It's just a healing. And if you feel called to share it with the world, that's even more beautiful. But it's all right just to do it just for you, just to write the journal, just to write the stories. And you might not be ready to share. My mom found some of my grandmother's stories. She never shared that. And we are finding them now and reading them now. And it is just amazing. It's in a level, it's even more powerful because it's like bring us back to a childhood that we didn't know about. And now we can read about it because we found a few journals that she did. And even though she didn't share it with the world, it's going to be shared with the world through me and my mom. So it's just, you never know who and what your story will impact. And even if it's just impactful for you, write it, speak it,
That
share
is
it.
so true. So powerful too. The example that your grandmother's stories live on in the future generations, and just having them written down is, for whoever needs to find them is so powerful. Writing your story is first and most importantly healing for you. Just do it for you. If you write the thing that you need to hear, someone else is also going to need to hear it. And when you're ready, and if you feel called to, you can share that healing with the world. Thank you again so much, ladies, for joining us. Thank you, everyone who watched this conversation, for joining us live, and anyone who's going to watch this recording. We really appreciate you being here and proving once again the power of connection across all kinds of time zones. Gabby and Gabriella, do you want to wrap up by just telling everyone where they can find you and where they can buy this amazing book?
Well, we are everywhere. So again, this is our newest book, Weaving Connections, Nature Walks Across Continents. Thank you for joining. And yeah, if you just type in our name, the book will come up, and we are both on Medium and Substack. And I have a website too. It's just my name, gabrielakeuroshi.org. So you can find me there as well.
You can also find me with my name, Gabriela Trofin-Tatár, and on Substack I'm writing from my kitchen table, because that's how it all started for me. And I'm also writing on Medium. I also have there a small publication about stories, just short, simple stories. Yeah, so I think we're easy to find.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much. I can't wait to see what more magic you ladies create and what magic anyone watching this creates from this encouragement to just be yourself and write what comes to you. So thank
Thank
you
you so
again,
much for having
everyone.
us.
Of
Thank you.
course. We
Yeah.
will talk to you all later.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.